Hey everyone, it's Hannah and welcome back to episode 98 of the Corner of Craft podcast. It's episode 98. I hope you are well and that you're having a lovely day. I won't lie, I'm not 100% with it today. I went to a wedding last night. We were just invited as evening guests. I only knew briefly the groom and then obviously Mario and two other people. But you know, that was also somewhat freeing. But I'm not hungover because I stopped drinking quite early on because I'm sensible and knew I needed to record this today and wanted to be somewhat fresh-faced. But I also didn't sleep massively well and woke up very early. So that's a fun and exciting time. So yeah, I'm just a bit tired today. However, I wanted to record a podcast. So here we are. Hello. Just a quick little heads up before we start today's podcast. I am very gurgly in this tummy today and I don't know why. I have no explanation for it, but throughout this whole podcast, you are going to hear me gurgle, especially if you had headphones in. So, sincerest apologies, but it's just what my body has decided to do the moment I have time to record a podcast. So, I'm really sorry, but enjoy the rest of the podcast. How are you? If you are new, welcome. I'm coming at you today from a currently quite sunny blue sky Nottingham, but we have storms forecast this afternoon, which is why I wanted to record them today, or record this morning before the rains hit, because I got skylights and therefore noise, terrible noise, and also just dark. But yes, Nottingham here in the UK. My name is Hannah, like I've already said. I make hand-beaded stitch markers and I also dye yarn in colours inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. My business name is The Corner of Craft. My yarn brand is Chromatic Yarns. And anything else? If you want social media, I have it. I have social media. Links can all be found in the description box below, along with podcast notes, which are also linked down there, because I've been very good at staying on top of podcast notes, which helps because I have not started many new projects for a while. So that I don't have to do a mass top up of anything because I don't do anything. I'm currently in the throes of Advent prep, as you may have seen if you watch my studio vlogs or if you're part of the Biscuit Brew crew on Patreon, you would have seen. So there hasn't been a whole lot of knitting and crochet time because any time that I would want to spend knitting and crocheting, I'm actually spending twisting mini skeins or beading stitch markers for the weekly Advent. But the good news is that I have made the effort to squeeze in some knitting and crocheting whilst in between, basically, when I should be working on something else. The tea that I have today is just a Yorkshire tea biscuit brew, because it's my go-to comfort tea when I'm not feeling 100%. Not that I'm hungover, that, as I keep saying, I'm just really tired. Also, Mario and I are hoping to go into Nottingham before it rains, and so I need to record this pretty speedily, and making a cup of Yorkshire tea biscuit brew is quicker than making a cup of Bird and Blend. So I was going on efficiency over anything else. Shall we start with finished objects? I actually have 3 finished objects. Can you believe it? I can't quite believe it, but they all happened in relatively quick succession and it made me feel very good about myself. If it wasn't so warm, I'd be wearing this. I have finished my effervescent pullover jumper. It is blocked. The ends are woven in. I do need to cut them though. I have not cut any of my ends off. I also have another whip that has way more ends that I have not cut off. But I have woven them in. You can't really, I'm going to move my tea so I don't dunk my sleeve in it. I was a bit worried that you couldn't see the lace work, but you can when I'm wearing it, and also when it's just not on a camera. So this is the effervescent jumper, pullover, sweatshirt. It's not sweatshirt, sweater. This is a pattern by Amy Sher. This is in a pom-pom. Can't remember which one. It's in an issue of Pom Pom, but I think you can also get the pattern on Ravelry. And I knit this using pigment and ply, whatever their merino sock base is, in Eskel or the Leshy. I bought this last year as a birthday present to myself while I was at Yarndale, and the fact that I have knit this before Yarndale this year, not that I'm going, but nonetheless, it shocks me. This yarn is absolutely beautiful. Not only is the colour gorgeous, because it is, but the stitch definition, I mean it's covered in cat hair already, Not even worn it yet. Gosh sakes. The stitch definition on these stitches is beautiful, and that's what you get from a high twist yarn. But I think it's 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. And we rewatched season 2 of The Witcher before starting season 3. We're now into season 3. And it was fun seeing where the colourway inspiration came from. And I can see where she found the colours. I can see where she drew from. So that was really cool. It's blocked out beautifully. I was a bit worried it was going to be too short on me because I got impatient with the body, even though I did knit an extra 5 inches on it. But I've blocked it, and actually it's a perfect full length jumper. The sleeves come to about here on me, which is also perfect, and it's blocked very well. I am thrilled with this jumper, absolutely thrilled. I was cocky and thought by the time I got to the lace that this was just going to fly. I thought, because you know when you start a jumper, the beginning of a jumper just goes really, really quickly, and then you split for the sleeves, and then it takes you the rest of your life to finish. So I naively thought, so this is a bottom-up sweater pattern, and you start with the body, and then you knit both sleeves, and then you join it all together. You graft the sleeves under the arm, and then you knit the lace. Well, you don't graft the sleeves first, you knit the lace and then you go back and graft the sleeves, because I couldn't work out how it would all come together, but I just followed the very well written pattern. And the beautiful thing is that this lace has a chart. I love a chart. I cannot stand when there's no chart, because how am I meant to visualize what I'm doing when I'm just reading it? Give me a chart. But I also understand that not everyone's brain works the same way, but I love me a chart. And yeah, I was able to get to the point to see when I went wrong, that I went wrong. And a few times I dropped it down and fixed it, which I'm chuffed to bits about. The neckline's a little wider than I thought it was going to be, but maybe once again maybe that's my blocking. And I still have quite a lot of yarn left. I have 2 little balls, and then I've still got this, which, I mean, I draw from the middle, so this is not an accurate representation. It's a little squidgy, but there's still a good chunk of yarn there. I probably could have done full-length sleeves, but I'm also kind of glad that I didn't. But I can have a matching pair of socks, or make a hat, or what have you. No, get back in there. That's my scraps box. Or I make mini skeins and sell off mini skein bundles. Also on option. I've done that only once before. But yeah. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm so thrilled with it, and it's a relief to get it off the needles finally. Such a relief. Now I want to cast on another jumper, but I haven't allowed myself to yet because of Advents and doing so many other things. So I've been, good isn't the word I want, because, you know, casting on a project doesn't make you bad, and it's not like I have loads of projects on the go at the moment, but I just wanted to get one thing finished first and then move on to the next. Speaking of moving on to the next, this is my next finished object. This is my, once again, the ends are woven in, but I just haven't cut them off yet. This is my Just Feel Cozy wrap. And this is a pattern by Kalisha Ryan. This, who is Nadira Tani on Instagram. This uses my 2022 Chromatic Yarns Advent Calendar, and I held it double as the pattern calls for, and it's just made a really beautiful chunky wrap that I'm going to definitely throw over my shoulders when it is chilly of an evening. I think it's a little too wide for me for it to be a scarf, because I think it would feel like I'm strangling myself, but for a little wrap, which is, you know, what it is, I think it's perfect. I've did mine a little bit differently to the pattern. The pattern calls for stripes, which, I mean, this is also stripes, but what I did with the bottom row and top, well, bottom colourway and top colourway accepting, yes, I did 2 rows of the trebles, and then I faded, I'm going to do a visual representation. So I did 2 rows of this colourway, 2 rows of this colourway, but then the colour in between I held one of this and one of this. So it somewhat fades. It doesn't really, but I'm also glad that I did that because I do like how it looks. And yeah, this is on my BFL sturdy sock base. There we go. This is the sturdy sock base, which is a BFL and nylon base. And it's blocked out so softly. I blocked it in the sunshine. It dried in like an hour because I whack it in my spin dryer, the one that I spin all the excess yarn out, excess water out when I'm dyeing yarn. And so it just dried so quickly. This one also dried in the space of an hour. I got this done and took it off the blocking mats and then put this on, and literally an hour later I was like, oh, it's already dry, crikey. Absolutely love this. This was my entrance into the Knitters and Critters make along, but I don't know if it's still on or if I missed the deadline because I kind of ignored it for a while. But this is actually an incredibly quick make if you like how it looks. She has another pattern as well, which is the Just Feel Festive wrap, which is also beautiful but isn't zigzag. And because you are holding the 4-ply double, it just works up really quickly and really easily. The pattern is well written. It's very clear. It uses US crochet terminology, which it confused me a little bit in the beginning. The last stitch of the row is meant to be a UK treble, and I did a UK double crochet a couple of times, but then worked out and fixed it. Well, I didn't fix it, but worked it out and corrected myself for the rest of the way, and that's fine. But yeah, very quick. Once you get in the flow of it, I think this is a very good quick project if you have an advent that you want to make a project with and you don't really know what you want to make. Then, you know, it's this is a pretty speedy one. Sometimes advent projects can take an absolute age, can't they? Yeah, very excited to get that done. Tick that box. The final finished object that I have is this pair of socks. They were a half object last time I showed them to you, but now they're a finished object. These are the blueberry waffle socks, technically, which is a free pattern on Ravelry, but I think it's been archived. And that sock pattern is designed for double knit socks, and I knit these out of 4-ply yarn, so they are not double knit socks. This yarn is Chromatic Yarns Merino sock in this colourway that I dyed inspired by the film Stardust, which is called Wait, You're the Star. And this was the sock set that I used to show off the yarn in. So the merino sock base is 85% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and these are super soft and super snuggly, and I love them. I think they're so pretty. I love a pattern sock. I never think to do it. I did 18 rows of 1x1 rib at the top, and I had enough to finish the toe. I was going to say just enough, but it was more than enough. I had some left over. I was a bit worried I was going to run out, but no, beautiful. 20 grams. Stunner. So yeah, this is them. They are they, and yeah, delightful. I don't block socks, so they just go on my feet. But yeah, they're the blueberry waffle socks, and everything is covered in cat hair in this house. My goodness. Quick swig of tea because my stomach is gurgling like nobody's business. If you're listening to this with headphones on, sincerest apologies, because this microphone picks up everything. I don't even know why I'm gurgling so much, but clearly I need to eat something. Anyway, so now we're moving on to works in progress. I have some disappointing news. It's not that disappointing. I'm being melodramatic. I haven't touched these since I went to see the Barbie film. They've just stayed up here for the last month or so. Since I last recorded a podcast, they've just stayed up here, which is fine and lovely. And then this is still just a half object. I haven't been back to the cinema since the Barbie movie, and so I haven't cast on the next sock. And now those needles might be taken up by a test knit that I have this morning said that I would happily do. Using... Come out. Using these yarns through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. in the Eld. This is... Are they both the Eld? I think they are. This is her yak sock base, which is 70% merino, 20% yak, 10% nylon. And then this is a Suri mini. I've never knit with Suri before, and so I'm excited. Together, use these to test knit a pattern. I just need to find my other sock needle, see if it is either one in the bag. It's either in the project bag that these socks were in, or I was sensible and put it back in with all my other needles, which is what I usually do, but let's see if I've been sensible. But yeah, I've barely touched those two socks. I haven't touched those two socks. Like I say, I'm not complaining. This isn't a problem. I just haven't had a lot of knitting time. I haven't had a lot of reading time. In the evenings, I have been bead weaving stitch markers for the weekly advent calendars, or I have been up here being too warm, twisting mini skeins. That's it. That is my life at the moment. But that's fine, because I've finished dyeing up the mini skeins for the daily advent calendar. So, you know, we're already on to a win. However, during D&D, I have been knitting these socks, which is for Mario. I think this is in the Bright Side colourway. It's West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, because I love me a commercial sock yarn, which is, my goodness, 75% wool, 25% nylon. I'm really sorry about the gurgling, but, you know, bodies do what bodies do. Can't do anything about it. So I have finished one sock. We have a half object. Delightful. Did we have one last time? I can't remember. I'm showing it off like I haven't. I didn't have it. Half object. Ding. And I said last time about how I sort of wound on when I picked up the stitches round, and it's continued beautifully, and I'm thrilled to bits with it. And so I cast on the other one. I'd started knitting a bit of the cuff, and then I knit the rest of the cuff and some of this leg during Dungeons and Dragons on Monday. That is now my designated knitting time. Is D&D on a Monday. And also tomorrow I'm going to be sat in a car for about 3 hours, maybe longer. So I will also take some knitting then to do, because I can't bead weave in a car. But I've tried to line it up best I can. And so, you know, they're going to be matching. I don't always do matching stripy socks, but as I mean, I haven't historically always done matching stripy socks, but the last few years I have just become a matching stripy sock person, and I don't really know why. But I think it's also just because I was so close to starting the next repeat anyway. Because I finished it, when did I finish the toe? Finished the toe on this line, so I only needed to get here. So I just thought I may as well wind it on. Otherwise it's just going to look slightly off kilter, which I mean is fine. But so yeah, I'm using 2.5mm needles and 72 stitches for Mario's sock, because he has wider feet than me and a wider calf than me, and so he gets more stitches and a larger circumference, or a larger needle size, because also then I don't have to do as much knitting as I would do if it was a 2.25mm needle, because he's also got quite large feet, the size of my head apparently. Anyway, my final work in progress is my, not entry, because I can't enter my own make along, but I'm going to say entry because I can't think of what the appropriate word would be at this moment in time, to the Advents of December's Past make along, which I am currently hosting. It is running from, well, 1st of August until the 30th of November. You can join if you haven't already. Knit, crochet, spin, weave, whatever you like with your yarny, fibery advent calendar. It just has to be from the year 2022 or before. Halloween advents, Halloween countdowns, it's not an advent if it's Halloween. Halloween countdowns, also fine. Any other countdown of any other form that has many mini skeins, also fine. It's just a way for us to get these used up before the next ones start being opened. I said that whips were allowed as long as they're less than 25% done, I think. Can't fully remember what I said last week, but yes. I have started my fade into Christmas throw. I think it's a throw. This is using my 2022 Castle View Yarns Advent. I'm in the pink section. It's delightful. I'm currently just fading in. I've got one stripe of day 5. Is this the back I'm showing you? No, it's nice the front. I've put my the little mermaid tail stitch marker that I got in my advent. I've put, sorry, just accidentally swore at you. I've popped that on to indicate the front. So this is a free pattern by Hannah of Yarnia Designs. She's a lovely name, Hannah, it's a great name. And this is her first crochet pattern. It's very well written. I understand everything that's going on. It's very clear. It spells it all out for you. Lovely. One qualm. Because I don't know if she does her trebles differently to me. Maybe she does. But there's a definite front and back to my stitch. So when you're going back and forth, you have, you know, it alternates to the back and the front, and that's fine and lovely and dandy. But this is, like I say, it's a free pattern. In the pattern, she does state that to leave the yarn connected at the side, because you're going to put a border on it and that will cover it up. You can carry up the yarn. But what I don't understand is if I have, so you stripe the 2 yarns to fade into the next colour. So say I've done one row of row 5 across here, and my end of row, or end of, so I've done one stripe of day 5 this way, and then I've still got my yarn attached this side. How am I meant to go back to do my one stripe of day 4? I'd have to go back this way again, which I know is possible. I'm not saying that I don't understand the possibility of it. My issue comes is that every time I fade in a new colour, I'll have 2 stripes facing one way, 2 stripes facing the next way, and then it will go back to alternating. Does that make sense? That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Hopefully. So what I'm doing instead of that is I'm cutting the ends. I'm cutting them in. I'm cutting them. I can't have them. I can't have it alternating for a good chunk down here, and then have 4 rows where 2 rows are one way, 2 rows are the other way, and then have another chunk of alternating. I couldn't do it. It wouldn't look right. So I've done that, and I'm just being a very good crocheter, and I'm weaving my ends in. As soon as I've faded in the colour, I've woven them in. So all of my ends, except for days 4 and 5, are woven in. But day 4 at the bottom is, but day 4 at the top has not been woven in. So also I could probably just hold it and it would catch, but it's not too much for faff weaving in crochet. You just go blip, and that's fine. But yeah, this is going to be a really cute, beautiful little throw, but you can also fold it in half into like a triangle and then have it as a shawl. But it's going to be beefy. It's going to be a beefy one. I'm excited. And because it's an advent project, I'm using my, and it's Castleview Yarns, I'm using my Castleview Yarns Christmas cat project bag, which has a bunch of really grumpy looking cats in Christmas garb. Incredible, amazing, outstanding. I love it. Yes. And I'm also using my Pedro's Plaques crochet hook, which colour coordinates beautifully at the moment because everything is pink, which has a little pastel rainbow one. And this is my 3.5mm hook. And this is just a really easy, intuitive crochet thing. I only started it last week, so I've allowed myself some time to work on this on and off, because it's a really easy one to pick up and put down. I have a little corner of craft stitch marker on it because it's pink, so I had to put the cherry blossom on it. That's just currently holding my live stitch, and then I just pin it somewhere along here while I'm working on it, and then I take it off and put it back on my live stitch, because there's nothing worse than pulling out a crochet. I did it on this shawl a couple of times. You pull out your crochet project and all of a sudden you realise that you hadn't secured the live stitch, the crochet hook had fallen out, because of course it did, and then you've just ended up pulling back a bunch of stitches getting it out of your project bag. So I now try to always put a little stitch marker on it, because then, you know. But so far, very much enjoying this. Ask me when I get halfway and rows are about the size of my house, and I might have a different story. But at the moment, I'm enjoying it. It's good. It's good fun. And yeah, I'm enjoying the fading into all the different colours. It's fun opening it all back up again because have I forgotten what the colours are? Yes, I have. But I did have a look on Jen's Instagram profile, in all fairness. And it goes from pinks to like greeny, no, pinks to purples to blues. Because it's mermaid. It was a mermaid themed advent. The amount that my stomach is gurgling at the moment is actually concerning me slightly, because if I can hear it, you can hear it, and if you have headphones on, you can definitely hear it. And then, okay, something that Mario has said about me a few times now is that he says that I'm the gurgliest person he knows, and apparently I get this from my dad. I'm just a very gurgly person. I gurgle quite a lot. I don't know if it's got anything to do with the fact that I physically can't burp. It's not a skill I possess, or what's happening, but we have major gurglage happening. And that's all we've got at the moment. I think that's everything. I don't have any stash enhancements to show you because my yarn from Selena has been dispatched but hasn't arrived yet. Very excited. I almost bought some yarn from Jessa Pigment and Ply in her Midnight collection, but then I was like, I've got 2 sweater quantities coming from Selena. I can't, and plus I've got all of this. These are my sweater quantities here. I can't have another sweater quantity because that is apparently what I buy yarn in now, sweater quantities. I completely frogged my Twists and Turns mystery knit along and feel at peace with myself about it. I've decided with these skeins of Burhag, which is what the colourway is called, which have like grey flecks on, I'm going to make it's called a Scotch broom crop. It's a woolen pine pattern. I just think that will look really nice in this. So I think I'm going to do that out of these. Yeah, I need some more little tops to wear over dresses, and I asked on Instagram what people had suggestions wise. I've saved them all in a highlight. I shared all the answers and I saved them in a highlight because, well, people asked for it, so I must oblige. And also so I can refer back to it later, because I have a little top that I wear all the time, but it's not size inclusive, so I don't want to make another one because then I won't be able to show it on the podcast. But I think that little top would be quite nice. And then I just want to cast on I want to cast on a jumper so much. I'm going to see Critical Role in October in London with while Mario is going, and then we're going with Kat and her husband Alex, Kat Weaver. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. But I was really hoping that I would be able to get a Critical Role jumper made for me to wear while I was there. It's not going to happen. I do not have the time. Not in Advent season. I don't have the time at the moment. I do not have the time. So that's a little bit sad, but at the same time, understandable. It's fine. I'll just have to wear one of my other many jumpers, like this one. I do want to. My stash down isn't going as well as I wanted it to this year. I had all these great plans for how much I was going to get done. I got this out the other day to have a look at, and I found my list of all the patterns that I was planning on making this year. So maybe I should cast on a hat. That might be nice. And maybe I just need to cast on a few little projects and just get the stash down a little bit, because when I go to East Anglia Yarn Festival next year, because even if they don't want me as a vendor, I'm going as a customer, I will want to be buying all of the yarn. Anyway, it's been a very busy week for me this week. I don't have a social life as a general rule, but it appears that my social life seems to actually happen once a year, and it's all happened this week. D&D on Monday. I met up with a couple of my friends on Tuesday through the day, which was very fun. And then Tuesday evening I have a dance fitness class. I have that every week though, so, and then plus that's not really a social thing. I chat to a couple of people there and then dance and get sweaty and then go home. And then Wednesday went round one of our friends' houses for dinner. So I saw children on Tuesday, I saw children on Wednesday. Different ages of children. I didn't realise that the 7-year-old and the 4-year-old would be more exhausting than the 3-year-old and the 1-year-old. But then I was playing hide and seek with the 7 and 4-year-old and didn't know that it included sprinting after the 7-year-old. I ran as fast as I could and the 7-year-old with shorter legs than me 100% outran me with ease, especially because my stamina is not what it was when I was running. But my goodness, I woke up the next day, my legs were so sore, especially because then I had a dance fitness class in the evening. Yes, and then yesterday we went to the wedding. Very exciting. It is very fun going to a wedding where you don't know anyone. Quite freeing. Just have a little bop. It was good times. Very much enjoyed. The cake was delicious. It was carrot cake. I believe it was a vegan cake because the bride and groom are both vegan, so that would make sense. And then we went to, oh no, because today is Friday. Friday I was hoping for a bit of a chill day, but Mario's off, so no chill day, which is fine. But I did also forget that he was off. And often when Mario says that he's not working, he still goes into work. So, but we're going to pop into Nottingham when I'm done with this, and then I'll come back afterwards and edit when it's raining. And then Saturday during the day, I've got lunch with the in-laws. In the evening, we're going to a friend's house because it's her birthday and we're staying overnight. So we've bought some timed feeders for the cats. I mean, I bought them this morning. They're due to arrive this evening, but I don't know how optimistic I am about that. So we shall see. We shall see. And then Sunday we come back here, but then I would have been sociable in the morning because I'm staying around their house. And then Monday I'm meeting up with a couple of my friends in Newark because they're visiting family and Newark's about halfway. And Tuesday nothing. Wednesday I'm going to see Heather's in the theatre with my sister. I'm really looking forward to that actually. It's a birthday present to me from my mother-in-law. And I think it's going to be really, really good. And we might go out for dinner beforehand. Treat yourself, why not? And then Thursday I'm getting my hair done and getting my hair cut and coloured and whatnot. You know, after my almost 2 weeks of exciting fun times, I'm finally then getting my hair done because some bits of it have faded quite a lot. Also, I think I'm wearing a green bridesmaid's dress for my sister's wedding this year, and I don't want to have red hair, as in bright red hair, for the wedding, because then I'll look like Christmas, especially because it's a wedding that's quite near Christmas. I don't want to look like Christmas with a green dress and red hair, so I might try and go a more Albany route, but we'll see. I'll see what she suggests, she being my hairdresser, on Thursday. And then that's the end of my sociable week, and then I can go back to being a recluse. I just feel like I've forgotten how to have small talk and have conversations with people. And because I've been doing Advents for so long now, people are asking about my business, and all I can say is all I'm doing at the moment is making stitch markers and twisting yarn because I've already dyed it. I'm just twisting up mini skeins until I'm blue in the face. They're like, oh, okay. I don't have anything else to say. Nothing is interesting. Well, not that that's not interesting, but it's like I don't have any markets that I do. I need to work on a new collection, but I haven't done that yet. But I did have 3 big boxes of yarn arrive yesterday, which is why I didn't record this yesterday because I was waiting for that to arrive because I can't always hear them knock at the door from up here. I need to get like a Ring doorbell or something, or an equivalent, so I get notified on my phone. That would be very useful. But yeah, so I was bead weaving yesterday. I got 10 stitch markers made. Beautiful. And then yes, I've had 3 big boxes of yarn arrive because I was worried I wouldn't actually be able to dye up anything because I have barely any yarn, because I realised I've not actually bought any yarn since May. Not bought any bare yarn since May, which my bank account is very happy about, but now it's not happy because I've had to buy more, spend more because I'm replacing more. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Anyway, now my stomach has temporarily stopped gurgling. I'm going to love you and leave you because I'm going to go into Nottingham with Mario, and I think we're going to try the new bagel place out because he's been saying he wants to go for a while and he never has a day off work, and the day off he has is a Monday, and hospitality is closed on a Monday as a general rule. So we're going in, we're getting bagels. Community. Anyone watch Community? So good. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. If you would like to see more videos from me, it'd be wonderful if you would subscribe, but there's obviously no pressure. Do what you want. Free and easy. And also I do have Patreon if you did want to support me over there. Become a part of the Biscuit Brew crew. It's a fun time. You get discount to the shop, and also you get an exclusive extra video every week from me, and I've been very consistent with that. I mean, as you expect, it's a paid service. If I'm not fulfilling my end of the brief, then why do I even have this service? And if you'd like to follow me on social media, that would be absolutely delightful. Once again, no pressure, free will. Links can all be found in the description box below, along with the podcast notes if you want any more information about the projects, or if I spoke too quickly about anything, or you want a link to whatever. Podcast notes. I take my time typing them so you can read them. Clink. I am currently going to start working very soon on my next collection, which I think I might end up launching in October, because I haven't pulled my finger out and I don't know if it'll be ready by September, but we shall see. But yeah, just leave me a comment down below. Have you been drinking any nice tea? Have you been working on anything delightful? How many socks do you have on the go at the moment? Are you partaking in the Advents of December's Past Make Along? Are you did you start your Advent project and you've already abandoned it? Go back to it. There'll be prizes. I promise there'll be prizes. Yeah, I know. Anyway, I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you very soon in next week's video, by which time we'll be in September. How? Somehow. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon. Bye.